Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan Jones. I'm your professor or instructor for college algebra. I'm excited for another semester. I've taught this course a lot. This video is basically just going to go through the course webpage, but kind of while I do that, kind of give you a tour of the website. I'll explain details about the course and kind of what's expected of you, what's expected of me, so on and so forth. So I'll try to keep this fairly short, but here we go. Right here, we got our course webpage. This is where you'll see announcements. You can see this first one here because I'm screen sharing, but that'll go away before the start of the semester. But any announcements that I post will go right here. I do post announcements fairly frequently. You should be checking every day, every other day, something like that for those, because sometimes there will be pertinent info that you need to know kind of ASAP. So take a look here. Don't skip over that. Announcements right there. We're basically going to go through this top menu bar. This is course home, content, assignments, and all that. I am going to get to content in a little bit. That's by far the most important. I just wanted to click through some of these other ones because they're not as important, and I can just say one quick thing about them and then move on. So I'll show you assignments. This is actually not where your assignments are. Our actual assignments are in MyMathLab, which is a separate online homework platform. We'll get to that later. But this, for quote-unquote assignments, this is where you will upload pictures of your work for each exam. So again, not like a homework, but this is just where you'll submit your work. So at the end of each exam, you'll have done all your work on lined paper, and you will take photos of it. You'll combine those photos into a PDF, and then you'll upload it here so that I can use that as kind of help for grading, for partial credit. So, quote unquote assignments tab, not really any assignments, but good to see anyways. Discussions, we'll see these a little bit more later in the video, but this is just where our discussion threads will go. There are some general FAQs and threads here. You can click in these. You can ask questions. You can read about some of these things like MML assignments and submitting work, grades and things like that. Grade breakdown. You can ask questions about any of those. But discussions, for the most part, are actually assignments that you have to do. You can see introductions, just introducing yourself, watching a Khan Academy video. In week 2, we start to get into the bulk of it. Usually these discussions involve watching a video or reading an article, and then you basically just talk about it, right? Just post some comments. Usually there's some questions here that I'll ask you as prompts, if you will. I will ask you to do that by Thursday of every week, and then you'll have to reply to a classmate by Monday, so the following Monday. And these replies should be meaningful. They should not be boring. Don't just repeat what the student has said. Try to come up with something, an actual fruitful reply. So you can see these are every week. They'll be pretty straightforward to do. You are required to both post and reply in order to get full credit for this. So this is where your discussions are. Like I said, there is another place you can find these. It's in content. We'll get there in a second. But let me go to quizzes first. We have one, and it's not actually a quiz. It's more of a survey. Again, what I need to emphasize is you do have quizzes as assignments. We'll see them later. Just this quote-unquote quizzes tab is not where they are. So this quizzes tab has just a survey for you. You can click on that, fill that out. And yeah. Grades is obviously grades. I won't click on that, but you can look at your grades there. Class list will show you everybody that's in the course if you want to directly message them. Any classmates for whatever reason, you can click on that and you can directly message them. All right. Now that we've kind of gone through all that, with the main thing being that assignments and quizzes are not actually where your assignments and quizzes are, let's go to content and let's go find those. As this loads here, we'll see it'll start on table of contents, and then After that, you can click on modules on the left side. This is taking a second to load here, so I apologize. We will give this just a moment. Basically, each of these modules that you'll see, there they are, is split up weekly with some informational stuff in the beginning. Welcome start here just shows a welcome message, a little bio about myself. I'll post this video there as well, but you're already watching it, so that doesn't matter. Welcome, schedule, and syllabus. I'm not going to click through these. Actually, I may click on the course schedule in a second. But this is where you find these things. The course schedule is definitely something I recommend printing off and push pinning to your wall, in your room or something like that. This is a fairly repetitive thing. I don't expect that you'll look at this too often, but it is nice to see kind of when your exams are, what sections we do each week, and just a brief overview of what you're expected to do. So while we're here, let's take a look at this and outline the course. First and foremost, most of these dates for each week, quote unquote, start on a Tuesday and end on a Monday. I have my reasons for doing that. If you're curious, you can ask me. But our weeks, quote unquote, will start on Tuesday and end on a Monday for the most part. There are exceptions to this, so keep that in mind. I try to note them when that's the case. But yeah, that's kind of how our week goes. And if you remember from earlier in the video, that makes sense. That kind of lines up with our discussions. If the week starts on a Tuesday, you have to post on the discussion boards by Thursday, which then gives every classmate of yours time to reply by the end of the week, Monday. So that's kind of the timeline there. In addition to those discussion posts, you can see right here, I have those listed in the to-do list in pretty much every week. You have MML, which is My Math Lab. You have 3 types of assignments there. Again, we'll see that a little bit later, but that will be something that you're required to do. You can see we cover 2 to 3, sometimes 4 sections every week. This is an accelerated course. It's 10 weeks long, so we don't have the usual 15 weeks of the semester. So there's a lot of stuff that you got to do. Falling behind will not work. Please, 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 please don't fall behind. There are some weeks here, unfortunately, again, because it's accelerated, that we have to have our exams at the same time that we have multiple sections. There's not really any way around that. So that's how that is. You will have the whole week to do your exam. It will be due on the last day of that week. Don't procrastinate as well. I can scroll down. It's kind of the same thing over and over. We do have a fall break. You don't have anything to do over fall break. And actually, what's cool is that once you start your fall break, the only deliverable that you have for the rest of the semester is your final exam. So you can spend fall break studying or you can relax. You'll have the entire week from December 2nd to December 9th to take that final exam. That's it. So that'll be a nice kind of relaxing, somewhat relaxing end to the semester, at least in terms of volume of work. It'll be relaxing. So here's our course schedule. Again, like I said, print this off. And you can reference that as much as you want. Let's go back to the table of contents. We'll see how long this takes to load. My internet seems to be acting up a little bit. There we go. First, welcome modules there. You can see MML links and honor lock proctoring. I'm going to do honor lock proctoring first because I was kind of just talking about exams a little bit. I have mentioned once before that you will submit photos of your work for the exams. But the other facet to our exams is kind of how you'll actually be proctored as you take this. Because it's an online class, I don't have a way of watching you. I don't have a way of making sure that you're not cheating. And that's where HonorLock comes in. It requires Google Chrome and the HonorLock Chrome extension. All of this text here, you can read through and it gives you an outline of how to get into HonorLock, how to get access to it, all of that stuff. For our exams, you will click on this HonorLock dashboard to access the exams. There's a bunch of FAQs, helpful things like that. A whole bunch of exam stuff. You can click through all of these and read through them. I'm not going to do that in this video. But HonorLock is used for our exams. If for whatever reason you do not feel comfortable using HonorLock, there is ways around it. Email me and we can talk about those. It involves utilizing the testing center, which is a great service. I will say, though, it usually is a bit more cumbersome. It takes a bit more effort on your end and my end to do that. I always recommend HonorLock. That's my preference for all of this. Just like I said, I think it's easier, but it is up to you. If you don't feel comfortable with it, reach out to me via email and we can talk about that. Awesome. So that's HonorLock proctoring. MML links, I know I keep saying I'm going to get there, but I'm going to skip over that. Let's go into week 1. And you can see here, this is a very repetitive type of module after this. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, all the way down to week 10. Basically, in each of these modules, I have a little typed out overview, a little paragraph about what we're doing for that week in terms of the math. I have a list of the assignments that you have to do. This looks like a lot, but you'll notice it's just discussion posts and then MML stuff, which we'll get to and we'll see what that looks like. But that's pretty much it. Below that, I have lecture videos for you to watch. Those have been curated by some other instructors, and they're wonderful. I've been using them for a long time, and students seem to like them. So you can see lecture videos. Sometimes there's supplemental videos as well there. I have a link to your MML assignments, which I'll click on soon. And then the discussions that we saw earlier are also right here within this weekly module, and you can just see all of them. Nice link, easily linked and described there for you. There's probably not much of a reason for me to click through any of these others, but I will just to show you a different week, just so you can see that it pretty much is the same thing. Initial description, list of assignments due that are just MML and discussion posts, lecture videos that you can watch, link to the MML assignments, link to the links and descriptions to the discussions. This week in particular, you can see that we also have exam 2 that you have to do. You can also see in week 3, there's exam 1, and then the last week is obviously the final. So each of these weekly modules is pretty much where you're going to go first on every Tuesday. Open up the new weekly module and read through it, see what you got to do. It should be fairly kind of repetitive from a week-to-week thing. I try not to change things up too much on you to keep it making sense on what you're supposed to do. So that's all that. Let's actually go to MML links finally, and let's go ahead and you can see there's some other things here. The main thing, course home, is what you'll click on. And if I click on that and open it up, it'll take a second, but we'll get there. Homepage, this will look a little bit different for you than it does for me because I'm the instructor, so I'm in instructor view. But I can click on Assignment Manager and I can show you basically what this looks like. Every assignment will open on a specific start date. It's just the weekly start dates. It's every Tuesday. And then it'll be due on the due dates. What you'll see for the most part here, other than this practice quiz, which you can do at your leisure, there are what's called RAs. Those are reading assessments. And there are homeworks for each section. You have to do both of these. And if you actually whip out a calendar and take a look, you will notice that these RAs, the reading assessments, are due every Thursday of the week. So again, aligning with our discussion posts, which your post is due Thursday and your reply is due Monday, the RAs within my Math Lab MML, which is the website we're looking at here, the RAs are due on Thursday and the homeworks are due on Monday. So that kind of lines up there. With your discussion post. Each section has one of these. I can keep scrolling down. There's a couple extra little ones in here that are kind of supplemental, and you'll do those as well. But every section has an RA and a homework. You have to do them every week, multiple of them, right? Because we cover multiple sections per week. So that's nice. I'm going to keep scrolling down, and you will find 9 quizzes. These are weekly quizzes where I've combined multiple sections into one quiz. These are due at the end of the week on Monday, and you can do those. There you go. The passwords for these are found. I'll actually show you where those are. If I remember correctly, I think they're just quiz. But yeah, there's reviews for each exam. You can do those. They are listed as quizzes. They are not. They are optional. I actually am going to change the title of these to say optional after this video. But these reviews are optional. You do not have to do them. They're not graded. What you score on them does not matter. They will not go in your grade book. So, and then your exams are in here. However, if you try to click on them from within My Math Lab, it's not going to work. You have to be in Honor Lock in order to do that. Which will become more clear as we get closer to the exams themselves. But they are located in here, so that's nice as well. So everything that you're seeing here in My Math Lab, in MML, is most of your deliverables, other than the discussion post. But this is all of your kind of math content, if you will. The discussion posts are more about talking with your classmates, whereas here you're actually doing the actual math. So that's MML. That's nice. We can go back to the content, to MyCourses. We're back on MML links here. I will show you really quick. If I click on the week, the password you can see for the quiz is just quiz. I do that just to make you type in the word quiz so that you don't accidentally start it. Once you type that in, you hit enter, you're starting the quiz. So that's good. Another thing I forgot to mention, the reading assessments are prerequisites for the quiz. So you cannot just put everything off till the last minute and do your homeworks and quizzes and then move on. You have to do those reading assessments in order to take the quiz. So keep that in mind. That is pretty much the bulk of everything. I have obviously not gone in great detail on all of these things because this is just an introduction video. I just want to give you an overview of the course. And you can, obviously read the syllabus. You can click on the Honor Lock FAQs for things like that to get more in depth. You can peruse MML. You can peruse your grade book. Just as a kind of recap of this video, of the whole video, you have MML homeworks, you have MML RAs, you have MML quizzes. You have to do all of those. You have discussion posts that are in MyCourses that are found within each weekly module down here at the bottom, as well as in the discussions tab up there. You have exams that are MML based, but you have to go through Honor Lock to do them. After you finish your exam, you will upload pictures of your work into this assignments tab up here, PDFs of your work, and your grades can be found up here. I would ignore the MML gradebook itself. The MyCourses gradebook is going to be the more official one. That'll be the more up-to-date one. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and cut the video off there. And I hope this has been a good introduction. If you have any questions, email me. My email is actually just my name with a dot in between. So ryan.jones@frontrange.edu. So that's easy. I prefer communication over email. I check it every single day, often, multiple times a day. So email me if you have any questions. I'm excited for the course, and I hope you are too. Keep an eye out on those announcements just in case I post anything important, and I will virtually see you once we get into the swing of things.